Welcome, everyone. We are so happy to have everyone here. I'm telling you, it feels like it's been 5 years since we've been able to meet in person, and it's just great to see faces and smiles and be back amongst the great here in our wonderful city of South Salt Lake. Literally, it's the people, it's the residents, it's the administrative staff, it's police and fire, it's everyone else that really makes it. It's the businesses. I got to put a plug in for that. It's the businesses that all make this the great city that it is, and we're just grateful to be able to get together. I'm your host tonight. My name is Rick Taggart. My business is American Funds and Trusts, and I've been in South Salt Lake since 1958 when my dad founded our company here. And he's 92. He still comes to work every day, and he really wanted to come tonight, but he thought better of it. So hopefully another one of these times you'll be able to meet my dad, who started here in South Salt Lake. I'm also a proud member of the South Salt Lake Chamber of Commerce and have served on that committee since 2000. But anyway, just again, welcome everybody, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our flag ceremony. And we're proud to have our Salt Lake Honor Guard. It consists of our wonderful firefighters and our police department, and it's a combined honor guard. And what a perfect day to have an honor guard say the Pledge of Allegiance and do it on Flag Day. So this is a great day. After the honor guard is finished with their ceremony, we'll have a pledge led by our wonderful Chief Jack Caruth. All right, and then we'll proceed to that point.
I'm going to switch it up. Well, good evening, and thank you. I'm honored to be asked to lead the pledge tonight. But I'm going to throw myself under the bus, because when I was asked, I was also asked if I would talk about the significance of the American flag. And it kind of threw me off guard, because I've never been asked to do that leading the pledge. And it wasn't until this morning, when I was backing out of my driveway and the Boy Scouts were posting a flag in my yard, I realized it's Flag Day. So this is why I'm talking about the significance of the flag. It all made sense to me now. So, but as you know, today is June 14th, 1777, when our flag was created, the United States flag. And thinking about what I was going to say about the significance of the flag, I had to pause for a second, because I realized that the flag means something different to each and every one of us. Sometimes our emotions are different. We each have different memories of the flag. When we look at it, we share those, embrace those memories with our loved ones and family members that are connected to that flag, and just history in itself. And you may look at the American flag as freedom, individual rights, respect, and unity to our great nation. Or you may look at the American flag, Old Glory, if you will, as our country's oldest original symbol of freedom, hope, prosperity, and individual rights. The right to choose our own religion, the right to vote, and more importantly, the right to choose how we live individually. The right to view the flag in our own way, if you will. Or you may remember the American history of their flag, the sacrifices of many generations of people that were made to defend the United States of America as our flag flew in honor. But what we can all do, and what we all can share, is the symbol of the nation and what that flag represents, the United States of America. For me, the flag, the United States of America, will forever be a symbol of hope, promise, freedom, sacrifices made, and the unity of all the people that live in this great nation. So why our flag? Our flag has been part of our history since June 14th, today, 1777. After 26 revisions, we now know the flag that we see today. There may be a few in this room, I won't point them out, that remember the flag, the 26th version, but I think most of us were born to the 27th version, and that's what we've known for all of our lives. The stripes on our flag represent the original 13 colonies, and the stars represent the 50 states in our union. The colors of the American flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor. White symbolizes purity and innocence. And the blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. So as I ask you to stand later for the Pledge of Allegiance, I do ask that you hear the words of the pledge, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, for that is what we stand for. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Present arms.
Will the audience please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Ready. Face. Forward. March.
Thank you. The audience may be seated.
Thank you, Chief. For those coming in, if you need seats, we've got plenty all around on this right hand, or your left-hand side over here. Thank you, Chief. It was those were some great remarks, and we appreciate the sentiment. And Chief, you can call an audible anytime on me. We're going to go ahead and have our invocation, after which we'll go ahead and start our eating. It's my pleasure to introduce who will be giving that invocation. I just had a few minutes to visit with her. It's the Reverend Monica Dobbins of the First Unitarian Church up there on 13th East. And what south was it? It was 6th South. That's correct, over there by the stadium. Monica Dobbins serves as the First Unitarian Church of Salt Lake City. A native of Birmingham, Alabama, Reverend Monica has lived in Salt Lake for the past 4 years and loves its natural beauty, its climate, and its friendly people. Reverend Monica's work at First Unitarian includes preaching and religious education for adults, and her social justice concerns include immigrant rights, health care equity, and LGBTQ plus care and justice. As I was talking with her, she's being from, of course, Alabama. There isn't a lot of mountains there, but she was telling me that right out her window she can look at these beautiful mountains, and she's never looked back to Alabama since. She's been there for 4 years. So, Reverend, we welcome you up to give us our invocation.
Thank you, Mayor Wood, for inviting me here this evening, and thank all of you for being engaged in civic life here in South Salt Lake. I invite you now to join me in a spirit of prayer, meditation, or reflection. Spirit of life, whose presence grounds us all, thank you for the life we live and the air we are breathing, and thank you for bringing us safe so far through this difficult season. We remember that so many Americans and people around the world were not so lucky. The thousands who have succumbed to this deadly pandemic, the millions who continue to suffer. We grieve those who have been lost, and we ache for those in crisis. Spirit, we come before you not only in gratitude, but feeling the weight of our own responsibility. We know that humanity was not created to be separate from the rest of creation, but that we arise from it and are bound to it. We know that you have no hands but ours to do the work of restoring creation and building the better world we all dream about. We know that no one will lift our neighbors out of poverty but us. No one will house the homeless but us. No one will heal the earth but us. This is how you move and work in the world. Therefore, put it on our hearts tonight to feel both the heaviness of our responsibility toward each other and the lightness of the burdens when we all carry them together. Guard and protect us in body and spirit in these days. Renew our minds with clarity of vision. Inspire us to imagine more and greater than has ever been accomplished in this place. Bless these leaders who give so much of themselves for the hope of a better world. Bless them with the wisdom and the courage to do your work. And bless everyone here tonight with the grace to support them in that work. May it be so. Amen.
I'd like to also, if we could, give a big handout to our caterers today, As You Wish, that provided all these wonderful dinners for us tonight. If we could give them a big hand, we'd appreciate it. Also, we want to recognize, and show appreciation for our city council and city staff that are here, and our mayor and her staff that are here today. We're grateful for your presence. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce our illustrious mayor to you today, as she has her work cut out for her today on her awards, and you'll know why when she stands up here. Mayor Wood is a lifelong resident and mom of 3 young men. I think 2 are right over there. Is that right? Boys? All right. Who call South Salt Lake home. Since her first days of working for the city at age 19, she saw the potential of this small city with big opportunities. As mayor, she has made investing in people her highest priority. It shows through the programs and projects that have made South Salt Lake one of the most walkable, friendly, diverse, and fun places in Utah. Making change isn't easy, and Cherie has been honored as a change maker and continues to fight every day for every single person in her community. Growing up in South Salt Lake and raising her kids here, she has seen what an amazing difference it makes for someone to believe in you. She believes deeply in the power of education, which is why she went back to college after starting a family, balancing the demands of parenting. As a working mother, she attended night and weekend classes all the time the boys were fixing her dinner. Is that right, guys? Okay, good. Eventually earning a dual bachelor's degrees from the University of Phoenix in business management and business administration. This path inspired her to help her family and everyone in her community to achieve educational success and become healthier and more prosperous. Thus, the seeds of her signature initiative, Promise South Salt Lake, was born. She worked for the city for 16 years in various roles, from business licensing to finance, before she was elected as mayor. After becoming deputy mayor to Mayor Bob Gray, he encouraged her to run, and she proved herself and she proved herself, earning a decisive 66% of the vote, becoming South Salt Lake's first female mayor. Knowing what it's like to be an outsider to elected office and overcoming a large gender gap, she has gone on to encourage and support a wide range of candidates to join her in city leadership. The city now boasts one of the most diverse city councils and staffs in the state, reflective of the community it serves, and the city has never been more successful. Investing in people is her passion, and supporting the neighborhood where they live is a key to their health. And for the last decade, South Salt Lake has grown and thrived while still remaining affordable, diverse, and fun. The next day will see many changes, but she is committed to building better neighborhoods as a foundation of health and happiness, essential to a thriving community. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our very own mayor on the move in the city on the move, Mayor Cherie Wood.
Thank you. It is so amazing to be here, to see your faces, your smiles. We have not seen a lot of smiles in the last 15, 16 months. I want to thank you for being flexible with us this evening. We started planning this event. This event takes a lot of time and energy. We started planning this event months before we knew exactly what June 14th would bring. June 14th sent us a fast one and sent 104 degrees, which we started panicking because we thought people are going to get sick with COVID or get sick with heat stroke if we keep it outside. So I appreciate your willingness. Hopefully it's a little cooler in here. We didn't lose but a few people that weren't able to make it, moving it indoors, but I'm so grateful for you to be here. I'm so happy to see everybody's faces and your smiles. So thank you. Before we get started, I also have a few thank yous. I want to thank Rick Taggart. So I've done this speech 11 times in the 12 years that I've been mayor because we didn't do it last year. But Rick has been so kind to MC each event for us and does such a great job. He explained a little bit about his business, and it's been awarded a legacy business in the city because it's been here so long and has left such a legacy in our community. And Rick is just always so willing to jump in and help out whenever and wherever he can. So thank you for that. I want to thank the police chief, Chief Caruth, for leading the pledge and providing beautiful words and reminders about our flag on Flag Day. I had the opportunity to meet for the very first time Reverend Monica Dobbins. A couple of weeks ago, we were both asked to speak at an Asian hate rally, and met one another and asked if she would be willing to come and participate in tonight's event. So I thank her for being here this evening and sharing her thoughts about community and the connection that we have to one another and to the earth. Thank you so much to the police and Fire Honor Guard for seeing that the colors are posted with distinction and honor. I'd like to acknowledge all of the city council members that are here this evening, and I'm going to ask you to stand. So will you please stand? Rada Wolf, at large. Portia Mila, District 4. Corey Thomas, District 2, Leanne Huff, District 1, Natalie Pinkney, at large. Thank you for all that you guys do for the city. We really appreciate your dedication. I also want to give a huge shout out to our caterers, As You Wish. They are a local South Salt Lake business, and we were so relieved to hear that they made it through COVID and we're still operating as a business, and we're able to present this dinner for us this evening. And it's in paper sacks because, again, we were going to be picnicking outside. So we just left it in bags, but that's why they're in bags. Next on the thank you list, I'm fortunate to have assembled a team of talented professionals that I get to work with every day. They keep the city on the move, and they give everything to this community. To my cabinet, thank you for steering your departments in the best of times, and especially in the most challenging of times. Can you please stand if you are in my cabinet? And let's give them a round of applause for all the hard work that they do for our community. As I explained a little bit earlier, this gathering, it takes a lot of work. We always joke about it in the office. It's like planning a wedding once a year. So there's, lots of conversation, agreements, disagreements, but we always have a fabulous event, and it comes from the talents of so many. So I'm going to ask you guys to stand. And I know you guys do the work behind the scenes on purpose, but I need you to stand so that we can appreciate all your dedication and hard work. Julie, Myrna, Jen, Sharon, Sherry, Leslie, Elizabeth, Gentry, Lindsay, and Amy, and nobody stood. I guess Sharon did. See, that's how behind the scenes they are. I have family and close supporters from my tribe here with us tonight. I want to thank my mom for attending and for her example and perseverance, especially over this past year. We have weathered the storm and experienced the loss of my father, but we have emerged stronger as a family. Lastly, to my 3 partners in crime, but only 2 were able to be here tonight. When we started this quite public adventure together, Jordan, will you please stand, was 11, Jaden was 9, and Jackson was 2. You can see that they are no longer 11 and 2. These 3, you can sit down now. These 3 have kept me going. I am super proud to be their mom, and I'm grateful for the valuable perspective they provide me in this role. While we have a lot to celebrate today, I want to be mindful of the difficulties of 2020. We lost 29 residents to COVID-19 who were our friends, family, and neighbors. So at this time, I'd like to pause and recognize those residents. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. 2020 was unprecedented in terms of challenges, but our small and mighty city literally weathered all that came at us. We survived a pandemic, closing City Hall to public interactions on March 16th. And just as a reminder, because some of you are award winners from 2020, March 18th was our scheduled State of the City. That was also the day that we experienced the 5.7 earthquake. So regardless of the pandemic, State of the City last year would have been canceled as well. So that's why we're doing double duty tonight with awards. After the earthquake, we experienced September's historic windstorm. In my 12 years as mayor, I have never had to declare a state of emergency. And in the last year, to ensure the safety and well-being of our community, I did so 4 times. And to observe how quickly and competently our team managed, quite honestly, was remarkable. Our success in 2020 didn't just happen by chance. I strongly believe that it came from the foundational work and momentum that we generated from recent years of hard work and foresight. I want to commend our 295 full-time employees and 53 part-time employees who continue to serve the city remotely, on-site, or wherever residents needed them most. COVID didn't slow us down, it made us double down. I'm proud to share that there were no furloughs or layoffs for any of our city employees due to the pandemic, and we did not lose 1 employee to COVID. So let's take a minute to look back at our accomplishments and the challenges of 2020 as we plan for our future. Here's my top 10 list of South Salt Lake's proudest prouds for 2020. Number 1, in the midst of schools going virtual and families experiencing economic, emotional, and physical hardships, our Promise South Salt Lake program continued to serve hundreds of our city's youth and even expanded to provide daycare for our essential workers. They also served as connectors to important services like financial coaching, medical services, and free meals. Number 2, our economic development team continued to facilitate positive growth, including the completion and grand opening of South City, our first new office building in downtown South Salt Lake, and new anchor to businesses PDQ and GBS. Number 3, we secured new street lighting on West Temple at Harmony Park, and we are currently under construction with lighting on Main Street, something these neighborhoods needed to enhance safety and livability. Number 4, our community development team attracted hundreds of housing units to our downtown area surrounding public transit. By broadening the variety of housing in our area, we hope to expand affordable housing options so that our kids and grandchildren can live here too. Number 5, happy first birthday to the Best Buy Teen Tech Center, along with their Clubhouse to Careers internship program. Their programs are connecting our youth with technology and helping them develop skills needed to advance their education and launch them into professional careers. If you haven't yet seen this space, it is located right here in the wing next to the playground, and we're going to offer tours after the event if you'd like to check it out. Number 6, our city council, legal team, and police department have all supported the development of a civilian review board, which is now awaiting budget approval from the city council. The creation of this new board was in direct response to the desires of our residents to maintain social justice and equity for all. Number 7, our Parks Division cut the ribbon on the Ida and Lori Bickley Park right here at the Columbus Center. And they are actually here this evening, and I have a little plaque for them, and I'm going to walk it back to them, but you need to see who these awesome people are. So this is what our sign looks like out front. It says Ida and Laurie Bickley Park. Should have wore different shoes. Those two amazing ladies, we named the park after them because they volunteered for 3 days a week for over 20 years in the Columbus Library while it was here. Number 8, did you respond to the census? We participated in a successful 10-year census count during a pandemic year. We tried really hard to count everyone because this is how we receive our federal funding and our federal representation. So thanks to all of the staff that worked so hard in getting those numbers, everyone counted in our community. Number 9, our public safety team provided quick and effective responses in an unprecedented time during the pandemic, keeping our residents safe and sound. They didn't stop, and with masks on, they continued serving our community and redefining best practices. Number 10, we learned how to pivot and continued providing community building traditions like the Halloween Spooktacular and Easter Bunny visits by making them drive-through events. Our South Salt Lake Arts Council recently held the most successful Mural Fest event ever. And if you didn't attend the Mural Fest, please, there is a map online, and you can go check out those murals on your own. They're pretty amazing. So this is our 4th year, and we now have 35 murals in our downtown creative industry zone area. And on July 3rd, we will be having our 4th of July Everything Stars and Stripes parade, and we hope to see you along the parade route. I know I said this was a top 10 list, but when you have a year like we've had, I'm going to add 2 more. So number 11, I'm so proud to report that we received the Healthy Community Award from Get Healthy Utah. This reflects our investment in the well-being of our community. For nearly a decade, we have had the Promise Health Council working to build a healthier community through access to health insurance, attracting free and low-cost health clinics, planting community gardens, advocating for walking and biking, and rolling out a successful program to test and vaccinate for COVID-19. And finally, number 12, this past July, on what would have been Cerner Moo's 20th birthday, in her honor, I stood with her mother to dedicate a new green space next to the S-Line named Promise Park. It was a powerful reminder of how every member of our community is needed and valued. I am so grateful to be surrounded by and to work closely with those who strongly defend and protect the innocent and stand up against racial violence and hate. So what's next for our City on the Move? I've always believed that the residents know what's best for our community, so we're listening in new ways and more than ever. This year, as part of our 10-year general plan process, we've been asking residents what they envision for the future of South Salt Lake. We conducted a citywide community values survey, conducted online surveys, focus groups, and small group discussions with more than 1,000 residents. We heard about the importance of neighborhoods, parks and recreation, and safe streets. That outreach helped us develop a new vision statement for the city that I believe captures the hopes and dreams of our residents. It reads, South Salt Lake is a community that fosters diversity, equity, and inclusion. South Salt Lake is a city of safe and enduring neighborhoods where people are connected to jobs, vibrant retail areas, green spaces, and each other. As the City on the Move, we take advantage of our unique location and unparalleled transportation options. We are a modern city that is home to parks and green spaces, clean waterways, and sustainable services and policies. South Salt Lake residents embrace diversity, feel part of the community, and share an enthusiasm for their small city with big opportunities. There's a lot in store for the coming year. Here are just some of the exciting things happening in South Salt Lake. We'll have a new Department of Neighborhoods. We know the importance of building and maintaining neighborhoods, so we realigned employees to focus on the things that neighborhoods need most: trees, walkability, animal services, lighting, and more. Plans for a new dog park. Like me, our residents love their dogs. Right now, we have one designated off-leash dog park in South Salt Lake, and our plans include acquiring and developing more areas where owners can recreate and socialize with their dogs and enjoy the outdoors. Increased equity through the work of our Equity Council. This council is doing more than ever in areas of diversity and inclusion training. They are working with our youth city council to consider a new and more inclusive name for the Columbus Center. If you would like to weigh in on this issue, please reach out to your district and or at-large council members, as they will be making a decision on the name change in the future. There is also additional information on the city's web page in regards to this issue. A big part of leveling the equity playing field is by making sure that everyone has digital access. And if 2020 didn't prove that to be true, I don't know what could. But now we know. This includes creating new Comcast lift zones for free Wi-Fi at our community centers, creating partnerships to help provide free or low-cost devices, and pursuing any and all resources to ensure that all our residents can be online for work, school, and their personal advancement. A community opportunity center. We're creating an innovative co-working space right here at the Columbus Center to allow community members, partners, and nonprofit groups to utilize resources, advance their careers, and find tools for financial empowerment. We'll continue to support healthy lifestyles with plans to provide more outdoor recreation opportunities, like additional pickleball courts and an outdoor fitness course right here at Bickley Park, in addition to the new All Abilities Playground. We want to become greener and cleaner in the coming year, so we'll start an urban forestry program, implement a stormwater enterprise fund and utility fee to ensure our creeks and the Jordan River are clean and safe, and add new recycling opportunities like glass recycling bins throughout the city with curbside options as well. And I'm so excited about the new library. After years of planning with Salt Lake County, we will cut the ribbon on the new granite library, which is sure to be a vibrant and wonderful new addition to our city. I've learned that if you dream big, you can accomplish great things. As part of the general plan outreach, we needed to hear all voices, including our youth. So we took the opportunity to reach out to them and asked, what do you wish to see for the future? Dream big. And I have a prop here somewhere. It's kind of small, but there's cookies for everybody and flying cars. So although we will not be able to provide flying cars and cookies for everyone, we sure did enjoy seeing what the youth had to say about what they'd like to see. My vision for the city has always been to invest in people, celebrate South Salt Lake, and build great and inclusive and safe neighborhoods. Here's how we can dream big and do this together. Let's attract the jobs that allow us to work and live in South Salt Lake. We'll attract new office buildings downtown with quality, high-paying jobs right here in our city. Let's prepare our young residents for the future by investing in the Promise South Salt Lake Department. We know how essential the Promise South Salt Lake program is to families, and we need to ensure its future by funding important positions through the city so it can become a permanent program. We are a city that values health, so let's build a city recreation center that provides indoor recreation opportunities year-round for those in our community. Residents have told me they want more ways to celebrate South Salt Lake, so let's expand our local events like Mural Fest and Crafttoberfest and create beautiful community gathering places to host them. On our list is to create a new full-fledged community arts center at Historic Scott School. And we should enhance and highlight our natural resources, such as the Mill Creek and the Jordan River, with destinations like the Tracy Aviary Nature Center. One of my biggest priorities is a speed reduction plan to make South Salt Lake a safer place to walk, bike, and drive around our city. I almost got hit by a bus when I was on a bike ride on Friday night. So now it's personal. So we're going to start providing these signs. If you'd like one in your neighborhood, this will be just our first attempt to get people's attention to slow down. Those two were my favorite. When I dream big, I dream of housing for all. We need to increase housing options for seniors, refugees, young people, students, and families. And we must attract more small businesses because they are the lifeblood of our city. Our strong, vibrant community will attract more businesses that wish to call South Salt Lake home. And yes, and another grocery store. In the meantime, we need to support our existing small business, and I'd just like to challenge all of you. My family takes this challenge pretty serious to support the businesses in South Salt Lake and do as much shopping as you can. I know I have a friend that just redid her kitchen, and she did everything, purchased everything through South Salt Lake, so it can be done. I want to share a story with you. This spring, 3 outstanding first-generation South Salt Lake students, Jabir Nasir, Asma, and Anissa Dahir, became the inaugural college graduates of the Walkways to Westminster program. In March of 2015, Promise South Salt Lake partnered with Westminster College to facilitate a mentoring program to help give every child in South Salt Lake the opportunity to attend and graduate from college. But we also recognize that there are many obstacles to face before getting there. Many of our youth are first generation or the first in their families to attend college, and face more hurdles than most, including having to acquire English as a second language and overcoming the anxieties, applications, and financial burdens associated with that. To these three, who as sixth graders started in the Promise programs, then worked with mentors as students, became mentors themselves, and now have become the first of our youth to graduate from Westminster and go on to such promising careers. This is a full circle experience and exactly what we were hoping to achieve. With our collective vision, you can only hope that in your work you are developing something that will bring a lasting benefit to the community. It took the vision and hard work of many who are here, but most definitely it has become one of the most rewarding parts of my role as mayor, and it should be celebrated. Our Promise programs working with a partnership such as Westminster is just one of the many examples of how our city works to bring services and amenities that truly serve the people. Let's celebrate as we recognize these not so small accomplishments from the past year and give thanks to all of those, our staff, our volunteers, and invested stakeholders, and especially to you as we move forward and share our next move. Know that you have been heard and have played a big part in the plan and vision all along. Here's to 2021 and to a bright future ahead for South Salt Lake. Now we get to my favorite part of the speech. Recognize the incredible people who make South Salt Lake truly a community. And this year we have to cover 2 years worth of awards since the world went on pause last year and we had an earthquake. But the good work of our residents, partners, and businesses never stopped. We'll start with the 2020 awards, and for the sake of time, I will ask our award winners to stand at their tables while I speak, and at the end of the program this evening, I will trade you a trophy for a picture with you. So, and your beautiful brochures that are on the table have a more detailed story of all of these award winners. We figured you guys wanted to get home before midnight, so we tried to whittle everything down and still honor everybody. So, our first award, as an incredible story of persistence, the DeHere family, go ahead, stand up, has continued to make an impact and succeed, especially in the face of adversity. In the early 90s, Ali and Fatuma Yusuf fled Somalia for a refugee camp in Kenya. Since bringing their family to South Salt Lake, education has always been their priority. Nearly all of the children have attended Promise after-school programs while attending South Salt Lake schools, and then worked for Promise. Collective accomplishments of these high-achieving siblings include our youth city council mayor, a student body president, a Gates scholar, legacy scholars, an engineer, a surgical technician, a poet, activists, and future doctors and health educators. I wish to announce the DeHere family as the 2020 Legacy of the Year. Legacy family. Thank you. Thank you. Our next award. She brought her smile to those spending months in isolation as she delivered hundreds of meals to homebound seniors during the pandemic. Lisa Burke is the neighbor we all want, and our 2020 Citizen of the Year goes to her, Lisa Burke. Oh, she's clear in the back. Thank you, Lisa. Roy Turner has lived, worked, and served all over the world. Perhaps some of the most significant work has been right here in South Salt Lake. Roy, your many years of service to your congregation, neighborhood, and our city makes you the 2020 Senior Citizen of the Year. And he stood up and sat down. Lisa Price is someone who understands the value of true education, not just academic success. We are extremely thankful for the work that Ms. Price does for both the students at Moss Elementary as well as Promise South Salt Lake. Lisa Price is the 2020 Teacher of the Year. As a youth, Savara Frederico has made an impact by speaking up and sharing her environmental concerns and ideas to reimagine garbage and recycling with me. Savara came up with an idea to place informative labels on the lids of our South Salt Lake recycle bins, and it's making a big difference. Keep your eye on her, she's going places. Savara Frederico is the 2020 Young Leader of the Year. I don't think she stood up, or she stood up really quick. Okay, the success of our Promise After School program comes from strong partnerships. Learning for Life is a partner making a big difference with youth and their families. The 2020 United Way and Promise South Salt Lake Partner of the Year goes to Learning for Life. If you haven't visited the new Best Buy Teen Tech Center, again, I encourage you to do so after this event. The technology made available to our youth is mind-blowing. Thank you, Best Buy, for your remarkable contribution to our teens. You are the 2020 Promise South Salt Lake Innovation Partner. From the very back. For over 30 years, Karen Wiley worked for Salt Lake County and was the coordinator of the Community Development Block Grants, which brought the expansion of Fitz Park and many other value projects to our community. Karen Wiley is proof that one person can really make a difference, and she is the 2020 Community Builder for South Salt Lake. Thank you. Ariel Andrus began working as the Deputy City Recorder 5 years ago and has become one of the most valuable employees in City Hall. In addition to her prompt work and attention to detail, she is always cheerful and willing to help with any task. Ariel Andrus has earned this honor as the 2020 Employee of the Year. And I was going to tell you, since you got the Employee of the Year parking space, but we were all working remotely, you can use it this year too. After many years of volunteer work, Portia Mila was elected to District 4 of the City Council in 2015. Portia is approachable, values residents' engagement, and cares deeply about the city she serves. I'm proud to announce that Portia Mila is the 2020 Council Champion. Jason Ekstrom has been volunteering with the South Salt Lake Recreation Department for over 6 years, coaching soccer, basketball, and flag football. He goes above and beyond to make sure every child, including his own 3 kids, are included, and every family is part of the team. His hard work and dedication to the youth of our community make Jason Ekstrom the 2020 Volunteer of the Year. Fire Chief Terry Addison was vocal about his goal to increase the number of women firefighters in South Salt Lake. And we can now claim that we have 6 times the national average. Thanks to Chief Addison, South Salt Lake is leading the change to create inclusive and better represented firehouses. The 2020 Equity Champion Award goes to Chief Terry Addison. If you travel down Truman Avenue, you'll see an assortment of unique metal works and creatures made from repurposed metal. Sugar Post is one of the best local creative industry businesses, and we are awarding them as South Salt Lake's 2020 Best Local Artist. Marriott Vacations has been a consistent force for good in our community, due in large part to their volunteer coordinator, Tracy Henson. We appreciate their efforts in planting trees and beautifying our parks. Marriott Vacation Worldwide Corp., you are the 2020 Best Business Volunteers. Thank you. Mark Madura knew he wanted to create a space where beer, art, and music would cross paths. He found that in a 1980s warehouse located under South Salt Lake's iconic water tower. Their sense of community, neighborhood values, and customer service make Level Crossing Brewing Company the 2020 Best Creative Industry Business. People come from all over the valley to shop and take cooking classes at the Orsingigi Restaurant Wholesale and Kitchen Supply Store. It's great. It's a great destination, especially during the holidays. Congratulations to the 2020 Best Legacy Business Orsingigi Company. Without a doubt, the best thing on two wheels in South Salt Lake is free bikes for kids. They have partnered with Promise to give our youth the joyful experience of riding a bike of their own. The 2020 Best Friend of Youth Award goes to Free Bikes for Kids. Thank you. They made sure that every kid in South Salt Lake that wanted a bike got a bike, a helmet, and a bike lock. So thank you. And they also taught them how to take care of them. That's very important. Flat tires ruin a lot. Between West Temple and the tracks line on what was once an industrial cinder block factory, Hawthorne Townhomes has successfully built a community with its own unique character. Not all developments build a sense of community, but they did. Congratulations to Hawthorne Townhomes as the 2020 Best Residential Design Award. You know you have arrived at the Ritz Classic Apartments when you see the iconic bowling pin on State Street. Ritz has stepped into this vibrant, emerging neighborhood and style on the S line. Ritz Classic Apartments is the winner of the 2020 Best Transit-Oriented Development Design. All right, and our last one for the 2020 awards. Chinatown Supermarket on State Street has become a true hotspot in South Salt Lake and has gained a reputation for great food. As a favorite spot to not only eat, but to be entertained, we selected the 2020 Best Lunch Spot as Sakura Hibachi Steakhouse and Sushi. It's very good. Okay, and now on to our 2021 award winners, and we only chose 6 this year, and they were specific to addressing, pivoting during the pandemic. So, Amy Terpstra, will you join me? Amy is the Vice President of Collective Impact Partnerships for United Way of Salt Lake and is going to present the next award.
Thank you so much, Mayor Wood. Good evening. I am so pleased to present the United Way of Salt Lake and Promise South Salt Lake Partner of the Year Award this evening. It was really hard for me to distill my thoughts about why Utah Community Action was so deserving of this award. And this is the table over here. You can stay seated for just a second, but you all can look over at them. So I just have a minute or two, so I just want to say this. Utah Community Action has always been a rock-solid partner in Promise South Salt Lake and beyond. They provided this community with Head Start programming for families with young kids. They provided housing, case management supports. They provided adult education programs. Everything just runs the gamut, really truly from cradle to career. And importantly, they've done this in utmost collaboration with Promise South Salt Lake and with other Promise partners in schools. And while they've always been an amazing partner, as this pandemic took hold and everything changed this year, they've truly gone above and beyond. They rallied instantly to make sure that no one in our community went hungry. They organized and pivoted, and I have no idea how you all did this, but they got millions of dollars in housing assistance into the community to avoid a mass eviction problem. They received 20% more referrals from Utah 211 in 2020 than in 2019, and that includes an almost 200% increase in rent assistance referrals from just one source of referrals. And then when I called over there and when United Way of Salt Lake asked them to serve undocumented families with some private funding that we had, since public funding can't be used to serve those families, they could have said no. They could have said we have too much else on our plate, we have too much going on, but they didn't. They said, of course we will. So for that really just encapsulates Utah Community Action and why they're such a great and deserving partner. They have what we call yes in their hearts. So for that, I'm delighted to present the Partner of the Year Award to Jennifer Godfrey and the entire fabulous team, which you should now stand at Utah Community Action.
I just wanted to share one personal story also about Utah Community Action related to the pandemic. This was from a mom. She said, "Thank you for doing," this is, let's see. This is because they provided meals every day for families. And this mom said, "Thank you for doing this. Going to pick up meals has become our activity and outing for the day. We get bathed and dressed and ready to go to lunch. Then we come back home or stop at a park and eat it. It has made all the difference in the world for us, and it's what we look forward to each day. So thank you for all your hard work." Detective Neil Hill started at South Salt Lake Police Department in 2009 and has the reputation as the go-to guy to get things done. He has taken pride and excelled in every position he has held. Even after 11 years of service, Detective Hill still works as hard as the first day he began. As a senior detective, he handles just about any type of case that the city of South Salt Lake could give him. Currently, he oversees persons crimes, which includes serious crimes of a personal nature such as murder, robberies, aggravated assaults, and rape cases. Police Chief Jack Kruth shared, "Detective Hill's experience as an investigator can be seen in his detailed reports and clearance of cases. You will never catch him in the spotlight, but you will always find him hard at work with his team." When visiting the police station, it's common to find officers inside the station talking to Detective Hill and seeking advice on how to better work with an initial case. It is also common to watch him busy at his desk, typing away. On duty or off, Detective Hill never misses a call out and is always available by phone. As is well known, Detective Hill is passionate about his work and goes above and beyond in all his assigned cases. Neil Hill is the 2021 Employee of the Year. Across the street from Granite Park Junior High is a small white cabinet perched on a post in front of a neighboring home, marked with the words, Layla's Free Little Library. Inside is a selection of several books available for those who want to take them home to read. This project was inspired by the oldest daughter of the Stinson family. From a young age, Layla Stinson has possessed a strong desire to give back. Being a book lover, she began to realize that not all people have access to libraries or can gain a library card. Her mom, Christina, assisted young Layla in building the little library, stocking it with books, either purchased, recycled from their own book collection, or donated by other community members. In 2020, and due to the increased needs of their community, the family again rethought this little library as an opportunity to help a little more and opened up a free food pantry with snacks and other food items for anyone, students, neighbors, or passersby. Our hearts were touched by Layla and the Stinson family's efforts in building a better community by going the extra mile and giving with no strings attached. If you feel inspired by this message, please donate. We suggest that you reach out to them tonight. Congratulations to Layla's Little Free Pantry and Library, the 2021 Community Builder. She's in the back. Here she comes. Lori Hopkins is the CEO of Shelter the Homeless, which owns the Men's Resource Center facility. She is committed to homeless advocacy and in creating systems and structures that facilitate changing the trajectory of individuals experiencing homelessness towards equitable low-income housing. Lori advocated for South Salt Lake in securing shared land that was once a hotspot for illegal camping and sustained a strong commitment to maintaining compliance with the conditional use permit. She is genuinely invested in the success of the Men's Resource Center while mitigating and minimizing its impacts on the surrounding community. With the inclusion of the MRC, South Salt Lake is now exemplary in the larger statewide homeless resource system. Congratulations to Lori Hopkins, the 2021 Community Champion. And Lori is on family vacation, so we will present this to her in an upcoming city council meeting. South Salt Lake is a place that welcomes everyone, and the Columbus Center is where many of us come together every day. Behind the scenes, there is a team of people making sure that our buildings stay open, safe, and welcoming. When COVID-19 hit, we needed the support of the facilities team to keep us going. In particular, one name comes to mind, Eddie Chacon. You know, when staff has his contact information saved as Eddie the superhero, that he is critical to our mission. Eddie is on everyone's speed dial. From extra bottles to surface disinfectant to paper towels, Eddie has always been there when we need him. As the months went by and testing and vaccine clinics were being held at city buildings, Eddie stepped up once again. He was always there sanitizing, setting up, staying late to make sure everything was where it was supposed to be. We could have not run our programs throughout the pandemic without Eddie. Before I announce his award, I tried to tell him he couldn't set up for this event. So he came in on Saturday and set up for the event. So we're gonna have you all help us put everything down so he doesn't, or not. We have other. Eddie Chacon is the 2020 Equity Champion. Eddie has a great sense of humor. I like to notify each individual of when they win an award. And I asked Eddie to come in, and he was standing outside my office, and he said, "I've got my resume ready, Mayor." And I said, "I don't know what for what, because you don't need it." Edward Lopez has been working with Promise South Salt Lake since 2014 and truly embodies serving others, personally and professionally, giving much of his time, talents, and connections to raise others up. Many of us not only appreciate, but we genuinely enjoy working with him. Edward's smile is contagious, and if you didn't know, he has an incredible opera voice. When asked to create a virtual sing-along holiday video for the Interfaith Council, he ran with it and created an amazing experience. As a leader, Edward is both a mentor and friend to the Youth City Council. Over the past year, he took on many extra public communication assignments, and being fluent in both English and Spanish was extremely valuable in keeping Spanish-speaking residents informed, engaged, and connected to resources. This made a big difference, and we appreciate that. Edward is known for being an advocate of the most vulnerable in our community. In essence, he brings a voice to those who are underrepresented. Edward is a problem solver and often finds a solution when others have given up. We're so fortunate to have him as a part of our team and a member of our community, and he is the 2021 Citizen of the Year. He is also on vacation in Guatemala visiting family. So just in closing, I thought a lot about, you have a lot of time to think when you're working remotely, and really what 5 lessons did I learn personally from the pandemic. And so the first one is that we're adaptable. Humans are adaptable. And that I believe a successful life comes from a constant readjustment to our surroundings. And I feel like the pandemic really gave us much time to practice that skill set. Number 2, a positive perspective is powerful. I believe a positive perspective gives you power over your circumstances instead of your circumstances having power over you. Number 3, life is not a given. This last year had a way of showing us what really matters in life. Number 4, human connection is important. Work can be done remotely with the help of technology, but the true collaboration needed to improve and bring a community together comes from interacting with one another. And the last one is a challenge I would just like to leave with you. It's called the 1% challenge. And if you took 5 minutes a day and just focused on being kind to somebody, whether it's a phone call, a comment to somebody, an email, a text, paying for somebody's meal behind you, just doing something kind, I would really like to combat the hate and the division that we're seeing in our community and in our nation. So with that, I would just like to leave you one final announcement. I have announced on social media, so I will announce today for you that aren't on social media that I am going to run for re-election. So I'm going to give it 4 more years. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for what you do in lifting our community. Each one of you plays an important role in that. I'd like to invite you to mingle, explore this facility. This is, when we talk about community centers, this is one of our community centers. If you want to share anything on social media, there's a little card on your table telling you how to do so. We're offering tours of the new Opportunity Center that's in the old library area, the Best Buy Teen Tech Center, which is just down the hall, the park, and then those of you that were here early and got to participate in weighing in on our general plan. If you didn't, that has been moved, but you can participate at sslrnextmove.org. And just thank you so much for being here tonight, and it's so wonderful to see your smiles.
And that's just what I was going to mention, Leslie. I will take care of that for you, unless you want to really belt it out. If you couldn't tell, if you look at your program, if you'll notice we have a theme here. It's all about lavender. And that's the theme for today's State of the City address. And at the table, the city has a gift for you. They would like you to take home. Each one of those little small individual plants are lavender plants. They will start blossoming, I believe, is it in next month or in 2 months? And we invite you to take them home. The centerpieces, we'd ask that you leave them here. We're going to actually use those within the city as part of they're a drought-tolerant plant, and during this heat wave we're in, they're the perfect plant to plant around the city. So how about one more big hand for the city, and thank you, everybody. And where it's on there? What?